Okay, well, I wanted to show you some of the things I use for glazing pots, and show you how some pots are glazed as well. I laid out most of the tools here that I use. I'll start with putting some wax resist, which is the liquid latex form of wax resist. Usually I mix it about half with water, and I'll have a brush, a big Chinese brush with a sharp point on it, so I can either put a fine line of glaze, of wax resist, or a thicker one. And I'll put that onto the pot bottoms of the ones that have a lot of surface area, so I don't waste a lot of glaze putting it where I don't need it. And occasionally in rings where I'm going to be putting the pot onto supports. Now when it comes time to mix the glaze, for years I've used this, which is something you can get at hardware stores. It's called an Echo glaze stirrer, or well, I use it as a glaze stirrer, but anyway, an Echo mixer. And it's a very good hand mixer. I'll show you how that works. In recent years, though, I found that I can keep any number of buckets of glaze with this mixer with a drill. I got this made at a local metalworker shop fairly cheaply. You can have somebody make one. It's just 5 links of chain welded onto a piece of like 3/8 inch steel. Okay, when it's time to do the glaze, these glazing tongs are really good for grabbing the pot in a way that doesn't leave much of a footprint on the pot and dipping it into the glaze. And then when it comes to cleanup, I'll use different kinds of sponges. These are one of the cheap sponges that are used for crevice tools when you're working in painting. This is my special glaze pourer made out of a detergent container. You get them in dry detergent. And I bend the handle over by wetting it, or by putting it over a candle and bending it down and then letting it cool slowly. And usually it'll hold up for a while, and by the time you use another thing of detergent, you might need another cup. But the advantage of this cup is it'll hang on the side of the glaze container. So when we're working with glazes, it's very nice to leave one in each container of glaze. And then whenever I'm transferring glaze from one bucket to another, I'll use this, or especially in combination with a big pan, which is used for big items like bowls and things like that. You can use it to scrape out the edges and scrape around, and it cuts down a lot on the waste of glaze when you transfer from bucket to bucket. There are a few other things like sieves and stuff that I think I'll go into more in the glaze mixing part of the video. But for now, let's stop and see how it is we do some mixing of glaze and actual glazing.